All right. I think I got the sound working now. Let's not like sneeze or do anything that would screw it up. Definitely see if we can find a better song. And I just need to do one last thing, that I reset everything. I just got to pull up my comments for YouTube. All right, I am back now. Good. So let's see, what can we do? I'm going to close out. I was working on this other project, but I will deal with this later. I'm just trying to close some other tabs on my computer to keep it from breaking everything. Oh, and we need to do one last thing here. I just noticed, because I am not supposed to be streaming on Sunday, but I want to get this thing done. Okay. Whew, I think I got all the technical issues done. Sorry about that. Okay. What I was saying is that, all right, this mess of these weird green boxes is a compression algorithm that I'm working on in order to take the tile map that you create in my Game Boy game and share it with others. So each one of these is a 5x2 block of the background screen, and then I match those to a unique ID, and then that unique ID becomes what I wind up it'll be the character that you put into the code in order for this to run. In fact, I can give you sort of a preview. I have like a really big messy version of this right now because I'm trying to streamline the way that this is working. So long story short is that once I get this piece done, I'm very, very close to having the core of the game working, the tile map editor working, and all that stuff. I'm just waiting for this thing to compile. So I created this tool because there's some other places where I need to create different patterns. I like really spent a lot of time last night working on this, where you can see it's grayed out because it's matching another pattern already. But if I add something unique to it, it will now show up and give me a valid pattern. Oh, and here's the level. Everything's a little bit broken because I'm messing around with things. But as you can see, I have these sort of hex values, and as I change things in the level, you'll be able to share them. Now these hex values, it's going to be a lot smaller because there are two characters right now I'm using for the hex. The first is the pattern ID on the left, and that goes from 0 up to D at this point. And then the number next to it is the flip variation. So what I need to do now, and then this Y means that I've been finding a connection. This is just sort of sloppy. And what I wound up doing is I came back in here and I redid my debug tiles so that they now just go from straight 0 to, I believe, 79. And then I have my hex ones down here in case I need them. But the way that we match all this up now is you can see each one of these has the hex value. Like here we have D0, D1, D2, D3, and then next to it is a unique number. So if a pattern is exactly the same as another pattern, it won't give you a new number. And so you can see like this pattern here, this is the prime pattern, and it makes copies that flip it vertically and horizontally, and then horizontally and vertically, going down for each of these variations. And as it goes through numbers, it sees that, okay, this one, this one, this one, this one are the same. So they're all going to be ID 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so on and so forth. And there's going to be some that are actually always the same, no matter how they flip. So this pattern 6, 21, 21, 22, and 22. So these two are always going to be the same no matter how you flip them vertically, and these are always going to be the same. Horizontally, and these are the same once they're flipped vertically. They're always going to be the same. So right now I have 40 unique patterns, but I realized last night that there is a whole other world that I need to take into account, which are these. So let me add this pattern here. Basically what happens is that you can also have an area where there's two platforms. They can never be on top of each other, but they could be next to each other. And they could be on the same, they could be one row behind the or below the other, as long as they're not touching. So to sort of illustrate this, I'm going to keep drawing these out. So this is not valid, but this is valid. And I'm adding these patterns because we're going to need to figure out how to account for this. And if we did something like this and this, it already matches this, and then there's no other way of doing it the other way. All right, so I believe that I have 54 unique patterns at this point. And then what I'm doing then is I'm generating out an array down here that I can now feed into my C code to give me these unique IDs. And we're going to see if we get the AI to help us implement this correctly. So, all right. I have made two changes that I need you to help implement. The first is that I am now assigning unique patterns, unique IDs. So if a pattern matches one of its variations, it will only get assigned a single unique number. The second is that I changed the tile, the debug tiles to now count up from 0 to 79. What was it to? So yeah, to 79, which honestly doesn't make any sense. 79, 80, okay, it does, 80. In order, I want you to assign one of these numbers to the debug code so I can match them back up to the correct pattern. The new debug numbers start at, let me just paste this in here so I don't forget. They start at 06 and end at is this Walter White? Do not understand the reference. Are you asking me if I am, or at music, or what? Where does this end at? This ends at 1510. Are you asking if I'm Walter White? 1510. All right, let's see if this can update this code. No, I'm not Walter White. Maybe Gordon Freeman from Half-Life 2, or Half-Life 1 and 2, since my last name is Freeman. All right, let's see if this can do the matching. And at this point, I think a lot of the other stuff is in place, although I did notice that there's an issue here where it's not generating out the exit like it should, but we'll get back to that in a little bit. And in fact, while that actually does that, let's go here. I'm going to go to GitHub and Reaper Boy. I think it's Reaper Boy GB, Reaper Boy dash GB. There we go. All right, I need to come up with, I need to go through and check a lot of these, or close a lot of these issues. So I've not been very good at that. I've done this, add support for drawing and erasing tiles. I've done this, add rules for platform layout. I've done this, add in basic platform support. Done this, pass back preview tile for selector. I need to come back to this. Setup variable for each of the tiles. I've done this. Add save level option, no. Add in star when enemy dies, no. Find enemy positions. I've done this. Tile map cleanup, I need to go look at, and reset level logic. I've done all of these things now. Mark as completed. The tile map cleanup. This is markers, players, enemies, etc. Make sure that they are removed from the tile map. I have completed this as well. And pass back the preview tile for the selector. I've done this. Save level option, add in star. Okay, I have not done the rest of these things, so we're going to come back to this. What I want to see is now if it has finished generating out the code that we need, which it has not. So I need to, I was going to add a new issue here to fix exit generation. Seeing an edge case where the exit is not being generated correctly. And let me just rerun this real quick so that I can take a screenshot of this and add it to the issue. There's a lot of like checks that I still need to do in order to make sure that levels are valid the way that they're being created. Oops, I need this. And we'll close this here and put this down here. And we'll just assign this to myself and make this a bug create. All right, now back to the code. It is still working, huh? In understanding your new system, looking at your comments, you want pattern 15 variants to both map to ID 47 and F1 and F2 to both map to ID 48, but in a flat array, I can't have duplicate patterns. Let me reconsider this. All right. It's been thinking for a while now. I wonder if it's going to actually come up with a solution for this. While it does that, I was just going to try to sit through and think through if there's any other edge cases. There's some other bugs that I need to take care of. So the other bug I noticed is that when I am putting a platform down, I want to make sure that we add a gap. Excuse me. Do we add a gap between them? So let's add this as a bug. We'll put this off to the side. Fix platform paint logic. No diagonal touching. You can still draw platforms almost on top of each other. The one tile boundary needs to be tested when painting painting platforms. Diagonally. I knew I was going to spell that. I tried so hard in the beginning to spell that word right, come on, give me my mouse back. And we'll just add this, and we're gonna make this a bug, and we'll create some more bugs later, I'm sure. Let's go back and check out our code. Yeah, I think it's, I think it has broken. I'm gonna, actually, you know what, before we even do that, let's get status. Git add all git commit m cleaning up pattern and debugging. Debugging. All right, we'll just leave it like that. And let's clear this out. Now we'll accept these changes, and we're just going to see what it actually did. I wonder what is going on here with this computer right now. Skip this, just save this out, and let me. I don't think it actually finished what it was doing, so we're gonna have to go back in and just double check. We're just gonna have to double check the code. Come on, we can do this today. The joys of compiling and testing and compiling and testing. And whenever you make like really, like I guess, bigger changes, it's either that or my computer's just running really slow. There might be something that's bogging it down, I'm not sure. So let's see here. Well, the good news is that it is creating a number. All right, so let's talk about what's going on here. I have a row up here where I'm trying to define, these are the blocks. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is 5, and then it's by 2, and then I alternate it here, here, and here, so I can now see where I'm debugging. The first character is going to be this first block area here, but because there are some very unique tiles where you can actually have one on the left, which you can't draw like this because there's no way to do it. I also need to test within this area. So let's do this. I'm gonna make this 0, 0, 0, 0, and we're gonna test this. So this is a scenario where there's a block at the end of one. In fact, actually what we can do is I can put this here and I can show you visually what this is. So this pattern is this one right here. And what I'm looking for is that if the tile is on the, if the platform is on the far right, this should be ID 1, which we're seeing. And then if it's on the left, which happens to be in this quadrant here, then it's giving us pattern 2. So now if I come back here and I start drawing, if we add 2 to the left, this should be 5, and we're seeing that 5 is there. If we do this, this gets us to 13, so that's 1, 2, 3, and pattern 13 is 1, 2, 3. If we add a 4th, it gets us to 23, which is right here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 39 should be here, which is all of these. Now, the real test is if we delete all this stuff and we draw it below, will we get what was it, 39? Will we get 40? Yes, we're getting 40. So what I need to do right now is I have to go through and I need to test out all 54 of these patterns to make sure that they're working. And then once that's done, that means that I will change out the character so that we're not using these like double digit testing. These will just be like A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, stuff like that. But it means I need to come up with a character set that includes 54 unique characters. And that's going to be interesting. So we'll have to figure out how to do that. I was really trying to get it to where you didn't have to, you really didn't have to, like, you didn't need these many characters to create a single code. But because it's just tedious on the Game Boy, I guess, to enter in like 54 things. But what'll be interesting is that when you actually start entering the code in real time, I'm going to start updating the map. So that just means that at least as long as you're doing, as long as you're entering in a valid code, it will give you a valid map back. So let's go here. And we're going to start in this block area here, and we're going to put a tile here, which is going to be 1. Then if we do it here, this should be 2. If we do it here, it should be 4. So I am looking at, let me see if I can make this a little larger and move this over here. I am looking at this quadrant right here. So this, whoops. This row is the top, this is the bottom. So we are at 4, which matches up to this. And now if we deleted this and we went to here, whoops, we should get 3, which we do. All right, so this pattern is now complete. We're good to go. So now the next pattern is this, which is 5. This should be 6, 7, and 8. So these are all done now. Now we're going to move on to pattern 3. This should give us 9, 10, 11, 12. So now we're on to pattern 4, which is 13, 14, 15, and 16. All right. Now this pattern works. We're on to pattern 5. Which is going to be 1 here, and then a gap. So this is 17. Sorry, I lost focus on my computer. Come on, come on. Give me my mouse back. Any day now. Synergy, give me my mouse back to my PC. All right. I'm like watching the logs for it to try to figure out how to reconnect to my computers. I'm sharing my mouse from my Mac to my PC, and I capture my PC. It looks like one of my PCs connected. Let's see if the next, there we go. Now I got my mouse back. All right. So this is 18. We're just going to jump back into where we were counting. That was 17. We have 18. I'm just going to do this here. That was 20. And 19 is going to be this, I think. Yeah, 19. Okay. All All right, so pattern 5 is done. This is super tedious. It's not my favorite part of game development by any means, but it's incredibly critical because once I validate that all of these patterns are matching, then I know that I'm ready to actually start entering in the tile map codes. All right, so pattern 6 is this, which should be 21. And then we do the same thing down here for 22. All right, we're now on to pattern 7, which would be 23, 24, this should be 26, and this would be 25. All right, so pattern 7 is done. Now we get to go to pattern 8, which should be a quick one. Whoops, that's just one here and one here, which gives us 27. And what we could do is an added bonus. We can now test to see, I'm like pointing at the screen as if you could see this. We can now test 4. And we can, we could see this now as a 1, which goes back to this pattern here. So, all right, everything is working really well right now. So this is going to give us 28. And now pattern 8 is done. Now we're on to pattern 9. So let's do this, which is 29. 30. And we just gotta do the same down here. That was 33. Wait, what did I do here? This was 27. This is 30. So what we need to do is, where were we at 30? We need to do 31, which is here. That gives us 33. That's because I have too many tiles. There we go, 31. And if we just do this in reverse here, that should be 33. Why didn't we get 32? 32 is 1, 2, space, space, 1. All right, so we're starting to have a problem. And this is, let's do this here. We're gonna, tile pattern errors. I am seeing issues with tile patterns. 1 1 0 0 1. And this is 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5 shows 33, but should be 32. Let's see if the next set of patterns are off by 1. And then if that's the case, we have to stop and do this all over again, but we have to fix the code. So pattern 33 is this right here. So that's interesting. That's giving me pattern 33. So 1 space 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 shows 33, but is conflicting. Right, but 32 also says it's 33. All right, let's continue down pattern 10. So now we need to, whoops, I don't want to exit. Now we need to come up with what is 34 is correct. Oops. And then 35 is this, and this, which is 35. Great. Let's add this here and remove this. Whoops. Because 36 equals this, 36, correct. And now we are on to pattern 11, which is another one of these easy ones because it's the same. So that's 37, 38, that's 38. All right, 39 is 39, and we'll do this below. That gives us 40, fine. And now we need to do the alternating patterns, which is this. So that's giving us 1, and now that goes to 41. And $41, $42, and this one should be 41. Yep, 41. So we have 42. So we have done pattern. We've done pattern 13. Pattern 14 is now 2 here and 1 here, which is 34. If we do the same thing here, we delete this and go down. That's 44. This should be 45. Yeah, 44, 45, and then 46 is going to be the inverse of this. Which is 46. All right, now we're on to pattern 15. Pattern 15 is going to be this, which is now giving me 0. So pattern 15 is not correct. So we're looking at 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? This should be 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shows 0, but should be, this should be 3 here, 1 down, 3 here, 1 down, should be 47. Now let's try this in reverse. So now um, 48 gives us 0, which is 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, shows 0, but should be 48. All right, 48. 49 should be like this, which gives us 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shows 0, but should be 49. And then let's just do this in reverse now, which should be this and this, which is 0. So 50. So pattern 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shows 0, but should be 50. I have a feeling this is going to be most of my day doing this stuff. Actually, I think I found one other pattern. Add a pattern. Thought I found this pattern. Yeah. Let's do this. Okay, there was an extra pattern that is missing. Pattern 16. Which is here and here, gives me 50. That's interesting. So pattern 1, 2, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. Oh no, why did my capture go away? Hold on one second. Something just died on my computer, and I need to make sure that it isn't affecting my PC too. That is weird. I guess this is not recording now. I have like a capture drive where I store all my videos, and for some reason it's decided to disconnect that drive. Only on my Mac though. Cannot open. Cool, whatever. All right, I'll just deal with this later. All right, so what was I doing here? I was doing 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. And then the next is 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. Shows 50, but should be 51. 51, 52. Oops, 52 is here, which is now showing, so 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shows 51, but should be 52. One. So this is 52, so we're off by 1 on all these, it looks like. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shows 52, but should be 53. And let's just do the last one real quick, which is here and here, showing 53. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shows 53, but should be 54. And this isn't going to return anything, so let's just test it out anyways, which is this. Oh, that's interesting. That returns 47. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shows 57, but should be 55. And then let's come here. We'll do this way, which is up here. This is 47, which is 56. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shows 47, but should be 56. And since this is the same flipped, they're always going to be the same. 47, which is really just 56. Okay. So these are our errors. Let's create this issue, and then I'm going to feed this back into the AI to see if we can fix it. And where is our code? I was missing the last two. So here is the array. Can you fix these incorrect patterns and address what is wrong with them? Don't change I forgot to get the whatever the hell it is, the thing to the bot to block that. Maybe I'll add it to my list today. Don't change anything else. The other patterns are working correctly. All right, let's see what it has to say for itself. This may have been something to do with this may have something to do with the fact that the AI had stopped generating out code. Let's see, what else did we need to test? I also want to see if I make a level and then restart it. Yeah, it doesn't restart. All right, let's see if this can finish generating out what it needs to do. I'm really concerned that the capture drive died on my Mac. Been having all kinds of issues with Mac and file sharing and everything. I really should just make this a Windows. I should really just make a Windows server for my file stuff. Or Linux with TrueNAS. I have so many things to do. It's like a never-ending task list. Also, this is going incredibly slow for some reason. I wonder if it's just this agent is the issue. Let me try Gemini 2.4. Or is this, I guess, GitHub Copilot no longer working? I'm kind of curious. I just want to see where the matches are here. Maybe I can fix this myself. Let's see. So 33, but should be 32. Where is 33? So 33, this is wrong. 33 is right, but 32, you know what, I think what I need to do is I need to start a new chat. I think this might be part of the issue. Whoops. I want to add open editors. I don't need all this stuff. I don't need this or this or this or this or this or this or this. Let me see if it can figure it out just from here. Is my internet working? That's working. Okay. I don't know. Let's let it think through this problem. I'm going to go ahead, though, and try to fix it myself. 54. So patterns should be, shows 47, but should be 56. I wonder if this has something to do with the index and the way that it is. All right, let's go through and figure this one out. So 33 should be 32. So where is 32? And let's see why 32 is not registering correctly. So I'm just going to copy out this pattern. So that should have identified correctly. What is going on here, and why is this not doing anything? Let me go to this and see if it's just a model thing or this whole thing is just sort of messed up. All right, so that's weird because this pattern should be identified correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me rerun that again and see if that actually works. So that pattern is 32. Wait, where's my... Oh my God, just move out of the way. 32. Which is one here. Huh. That's interesting. Now it's giving me the correct pattern. So 32 is right. Let me see what other patterns were wrong. Actually, let me do this. Let's edit. Let's turn this into a checklist. And this is now working. And then this pattern 33, which is pattern 33. It's this, and this is 33. Okay. So pattern 47, should be this. Yeah, that's giving me 30 now. Let me see if this gave me the same thing. Oh no, this is not good. I don't know why this is arbitrarily changing. When I retest these, for example, I am now seeing 32 on my second compile, but 47 originally was... Oh wait, no, hold on a second. What am I missing here? No, it's still 0. Okay, am I like... I wonder if this has something to do with the way that I... No, it's 0. Okay. I guess my brain is just not working this morning. Let me look at 48. 48 should be... That comes up as 0. All right, so there is a problem here. There's also a bigger problem here. I don't know why this isn't doing anything. I'm just going to restart Visual Studio Code and see if maybe that has something to do with why it's not working, or maybe it's just out. We can always switch over to ChatGPT or something else. No, what was it? Visual Studio. All right. Let me try this again. We'll just try it with this model and see if this actually does something. Okay, it's back to working. All right, let's see if this model can fix something. The patterns have been corrected as per your request. However, there is a compile error indicating that the file... This issue is unrelated to the changes I made. Let me know if you'd like a system resolving it. Well, you can't compile this stuff because... did I just lose my mouse again? Oh, come on, Synergy. Give me my mouse back. There we go. Let's keep this code and let's retest it out again. And I just need to go through and find, oops, where's this? We'll go through and we'll test these patterns out. And then what I'm going to do, just to save this stream from being totally mindlessly boring, I'm going to, once I get a confirmation at least more of these patterns are working, I won't go back through and retest them all. I want to start working on the tile map restoration code. So pattern 47 is this, which is 1 there. All right, 47 now works. Let's try 48. So now that's coming up as 47, which is not correct. Um, 47, but should be 48, which means that this one, which was 47, is correct. So 48 is the problem. 48 was 1 there and then 3 here. Nope, now it's coming up as... What's going on? 49 is coming up as 48. $49 is showing up as 48. What was the next pattern? 49.50. Pattern 50 was 3 here, 1 here, which is coming up as 49 now. I also screwed this up because what was I trying to do here? 40. Oh my God, this is so tedious. Let me redo all these 47 ones. So 47 is correct. 48. Right, 48 is coming up as 47. So shows 48, but should be 47. Then the next, whoops, where did my, oh, there we go. 48. And then 49 is coming up as 48. So shows 48, but should be 49. And now 49. 49 comes up as 50. Oh my God, I messed this up again, didn't I? 49 should be 50. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sure, okay, 49 comes up as 50, which I have correctly. And then 51. 51 is this, which comes up as 50. So the real question is, what did we lose that made us go backwards? We're off by 1 because, I mean, this is giving me 37. Fine. Now this is giving me 0. which is give me 0, but it should be 57. No, wait, that should be 55. So many numbers to keep track of. So then let me see here if, oops, this is giving me 0, which should be 56. So that's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Let me see if we can fix this one more time. Since this was working before, let me go to Sonnet and see if we can get this going. I'm going to be right back as I'm going to go change my desk to sitting, and then we will continue with this very fun stream of pattern matching. All right. I am back. So let's see what it has come up with. I see as you're looking at the current code, there are duplicate patterns in the array. Indexing is getting confused. Let me fix the pattern array by correcting the duplicates and ensuring each pattern has the correct ID. So let's fix this. And then what I wanted to do also is I actually wanted to create one other pattern to see, because I think I stumbled across one on accident. No, okay, we're still good on patterns. So what I want to see is that this ends at pattern 55. All right. Let's do this too. We're going to do one other sanity check. And you now verify that this array matches what we have in the code. And if not, tell me what is not matching up correctly. All right, let's see real quick. While it does this, I'm gonna looking at your, I can see several mismatches. Let me capture missing new line after pattern 13. There's a formatting issue where the comment for pattern 14 is on the same line as pattern 15. Pattern 15 order is wrong. The current code only has 2 entries for pattern 17, but your expected mapping shows. Now the code matches your expected pattern matching perfectly. Fixed the formatting, fixed pattern 15 order, updated pattern 17. Changed to indicate that there is phone. All right, let's see if this works. And oops, we're gonna go here. We'll go back to Chrome. And we'll start with 48 and work our way up. So 48, well, let's start with 47. All right, 47 works. 48. Nope. Shoot. So 48 is wrong. (48) and 49. So the real question is pattern 48 and 49. 48 and 49. So here's pattern 48, which is this 49. Let me see if, so this is where I start thinking that the AI just can't deal with numbers. Like it just screws this stuff up. Are these correct? Yes, parameters are correct in the code. They match up exactly what we specified. The code is correct for these patterns. I also fixed the formations where the comments were missing proper new lines. Why am I seeing 47 for 48 and 48 for 49? The issues that you're seeing is off because there's still a formatting issue in the code that's affecting the array indexing. I can see the pattern 11 is missing a new line. She's pattern 12, comments on the same line, potentially causing the array to be misaligned. The formatting issue is caused by the array index being off by 1. All right, let's retry this again and see if that works. All right, so we now need to find pattern 48 and 49. So let's come back here and pattern, we'll just start from 47. So pattern 47 works. One, 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 zero, zero. Still giving me 47. Pattern 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is still giving me 47 when it should be 48. Where is the disconnect? I'm so confused why the comments are the problem. I guess because it was supposed to be part of pattern 10. All right, let's see if this works now. So we have this, we're back to this fun thing. I wish there was like a better way of testing all this out instead of it just being a lot of trial and error. So we are going to start with 47, which works fine. We're now going to do 48, which is still the same shit. I'm curious if 55 works. So this is 47. And this is 47. So the problem is you have not addressed the issue. 47 and 48 are returning 47. So everything after that is one number off. How can we fix this? Stop with the new line stuff. It has nothing to do with the new line. The comments are not included when compiling. There is a issue with the matching. Because let's see, this should be, let's make sure that this is 48. You're absolutely right. The comments don't affect the compilation. Looking at the current array, I can count the actual position. Let me manually count. You're right that the comments don't affect compilation, but missing new lines between array elements definitely do. The issue is that some array elements were being treated as a single line when they should be separate entries. This is causing the C compiler to see fewer array. Now with all the proper new lines in place, the array should have the correct indexing. Famous last words. How many times are we going to just go around in circles today? All right, let's do this, and we'll try this again. So, let's get this focus. So this is 47. 47. Same shit. $48. All right. This is still not addressing the core issue. Pattern 48 still comes up as 47, so all the patterns after are off by 1. What is causing the confusion between 48 and 47. While it does this, I'm going to go take a quick break. I need to go get something to wake me up. This is boring the shit out of me. I will be back in a couple minutes, and then hopefully this will come up with a solution. It looks like he's just doing the same thing over and over again, and I'm losing my patience with it. Let me see. The confusion between pattern 4 was there was a missing new line after pattern 7's last entry. Sure. All right. You want to bet $100 that this doesn't work? Sometimes they threaten the AI that I'm just going to melt it down into parts. Ugh. No. All right. You have to stop doing the same thing over and over. You are not addressing the underlying issue. It's not a line break. There is a problem where the pattern matcher is confusing the two patterns together. Look for an alternate solution to the problem. All right, what we're gonna do is this. I'm gonna take a break, but I think what we really need to do is, instead of me just doing this by hand, I'm gonna create a script so when I hit the B button, it'll just go through every single pattern and through iteration, and then I can match them up this way, and this will be a lot faster than whatever it is the hell that I'm doing right now. I've been fixated on formatting with the real issues of pattern matching logic. The problem is likely that there are duplicate patterns in the array where there is a logical error. All right, let us do this thing, and I will be right back. All right, I am back. Let's see. So the AI said that it was fixated on the new line breaks and then just went back and did the same shit anyways. All right, this is just ridiculous. It's just stupid right now. Maybe I can feed it to another model and see if it has a better idea, or I can just what was the pattern? It was so it's still coming up as 47, even though this is 47 as well. Stop doing the new line fixes. It's not the source of the problem. 48 and 47 are still coming up as the same pattern. 47, no matter how many times you adjust the line breaks. There is a systemic issue in the pattern matcher logic or the array that is causing this issue. All right, we're going to give it one last chance, and then the next step that we're going to do is we're going to create a custom debug event. Oh my God, why is it so obsessed with these line breaks? Like, that has nothing to do with the compiler. Like, if that's the case, then just remove all the comments. All right, let's keep this. All right, now can you create a new function and a new event JS that will draw each of the patterns to the first quadrant in order, so I can map it to a button and iterate over each one by one to make sure we have this correct. This will actually be the foundation for re-implementing the code. So what we'll do is we'll just go through each pattern, and this will be the same thing as if we were entering in the pattern. Let's see if it can come up with this. And while it does that, I'm going to just rerun this, and we'll just test one more time to see if it even fixed it. So that's 47. All right, maybe it fixed it. While it tries to figure out what it's doing next, we got to 48. Let's see if 49 now works. Nope. So now it just screws up 48 and 49, which would leave me to believe that 50 is now broken. Yep. All right. Debug advances to the next pattern and displays it. Goes to the previous pattern, resets the pattern. Fine. Debug next pattern. Each debug function draws the current pattern. Both you can map these events to buttons to step through the patterns. The debug display will show the pattern ID number. The debug display map. Wait. What do you mean the debug display? The same thing we have been using? Let's see what it has decided to do. Yes, exactly. The debug display, I mean, is the same system that's already in place. The area at coordinates 5 where the display is fine. Okay. All right, keep this. And now we should have this event debug next pattern. So let's do this. Let's come into here and we're going to, first off, let's just compile and see if this code even works. And then I'll go deal with the event stuff by restarting the editor. All right, since nothing is mapped yet, it's not going to do anything. Okay, so now let's save our changes and we're going to switch projects and reload this project back up again, which is going to crash it. So let's try that one more time. I'm going to just do a quick compile just to see if this works. Basically what we're going for is I want to make sure that we're not getting any compile errors because of the events and the C code that was just added before we even start calling any of the code. And then here, what we're going to do is I have a placeholder, I think, for button B. Yeah, right here. We're going to add an event. I think this is tile editor. Debug. Debug next pattern. Let's disable this event. And let's do... let's insert an event before. If button held is select, when we're hitting B, we're just going to call debug previous pattern. All right, so if select is held, we're going to go to the previous pattern. If not, we are just going to go here to this pattern. Let's rerun this and see if this will compile and work. All right, so now if we hit B, I'm not seeing it draw. All right. I am not seeing the next or previous events actually drawing the pattern to the first block in the tile map. Remember, the tile map starts at I think it starts here. Right? Where does it start? Yeah, I think it starts here. Which is right, one row below this. It starts at 211. Draw this tile to the background for testing. The tile we will draw will just be 5. All right, so what I'm just trying to do, and it just actually reminded me, is that when we do start restoring stuff, we're gonna have to be running the we're gonna have to run the platform cleanup. But I actually have another idea to make that faster. What we could do is we could map each of these patterns to a lookup table, and then we can use that lookup table just to pick the right tile IDs. All right, let's do this. And rerun this, and let's see if we can get this now to at least generate out the patterns. I should have come up with this before, I wasn't thinking, but this will be a lot faster now. Assuming it works. Nope. Oh, there we go. Interesting. Okay. Two things are two issues. The first is that the tile map is not rendering the changes, and the second is that you are not drawing empty tiles back to the background to clear. Could you instead use the, well, I don't want to get there just yet. Let's try this. Yeah, actually, wait, could you use the existing paint function and just go tile by tile in the quadrant and call paint? So this would also clean up the platforms as you go without needing to use a hard-coded tile for testing. All right, this is actually a much better idea. I think it's gonna be a little slower, but there's some other ways, like I said, I think I can optimize this. But what we're gonna do is I just wanna route the pattern drawing through the actual, like what I'm trying to do is automate it as if I was gonna draw it, and then this way it'll use all of the same logic. All right, let's see. It's going to try to clear it and then draw it. We'll see how slow this is. It may actually be pretty quick. It's like I'm so used to the event stuff being really slow that I think when we do it in C, it's probably a lot faster. Event stuff, I mean like just the visual editing in GB Studio. Yeah, it did not like this idea. I'm seeing the following. And also check if there are any misses. Missing includes. Not necessarily how I wanted my Sunday to go, but this I think honestly is the part that I've been procrastinating the most with, because it's just tedious. Once it's done, it'll be way easier to just like really start, like the whole game will come together a lot faster. But this is just an incredibly tedious part of building out any, especially any tile map editor. But this is such a complicated system because I really need to compress as much of the data as possible. So testing out all these variations is just always going to be time consuming. I don't think there's no unit tests. I think for something like this. Normally I would just do this to unit test. All right, now we're cooking. All right, what I want to see is, all right, that is working, but it's just repeating the same left platform tile. Are you calling the... Shouldn't the paint function automatically try to clean that up? All right, while it tries to think through that, what I'm going to do is let's go through our patterns here and let's see what we have. All right, so we're gonna go into edit mode, and I'll move this over here. We'll make this a little bigger so you can see. All right, so we're gonna go and we're gonna start with, all right, so we had 0, we now have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have 5, we have 6, we have 7, we have 8, we have 9, we have 10, we have 11, we have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 22, 23 is this. Let me see if holding down shift goes back to 22. So right, these are 22, 23, 24, 25. Whoops. Good thing I added this back. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Wait. Yeah, okay. 38's down there. 39, 40. Now the moment of truth. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, and this is where all the problems are. 47, 48, 40. Look at you. So we go from 47, we go to 48, and now when we go past 48, we go to, nope, and then 49. Yeah, look at this. We're missing, I bet you we're missing this pattern here. This is 47. Yeah, this is 47. 40. All right, this is the problem here. There's 240, and then after that, everything is just going to be messed up because there's no way to recover from 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 50. Whoops. All right, okay, right, 56. Okay, so 47, let's look at where 47 is in the code. We'll keep this, but I want to see, where's the array? So 48 is 111000001. 49 is 1000011. This is 49, 50. All right. Another, again, sneezing broke my audio. I don't know how that even happens. All right, let's rerun this and see what's going on there. Maybe that weird comment does break the array. I don't remember C being so like particular about adding a comment in the middle of an array element. All right, let's see if this is painting these tiles correctly. All right, it's sort of getting there. Let's get back up to 47. 46, 47. Nope, 47 and 47 are the same. 48. All right. 47 and 48 are still coming up as 47 when I iterate through all the patterns using the same event. How is that even possible? The other thing I noticed is that even though it's drawing the end caps, it's not really fully drawing the end caps, but we can clean that up. Although, so now at least we have this, in essence, is going to be the same logic we use to redraw the tile map. So as you enter in a character, what I wanted it to do, because it's just going to be such a pain in the butt to like share these codes with somebody. What I wanted it to do is that at least every time you put a code in, it would give you, it'll show you, you'll see it drawing in real time on the map like this. And I think that would solve some problems. That's a very strange issue. Let me examine. This is indeed strange. Let me investigate. Sure. Now, let me see the problem pattern. Let me check the debug functions. Let me see the debug functions at the end of the file. I found the issue. The problem is subtle but important. The debug functions, when they call draw a debug pattern, they pass the current debug pattern index and then increment or decrement it by it. But in VM debug next pattern, the pattern is drawn before incrementing, which means when you move from pattern 47 to 48, it draws pattern 47 twice. Let me look at the exact logic. That change even it wasn't necessary since it's already correct. Let me revert that one. Now let me check the debug pattern index variable is properly declared. Good, the variable is declared. Let me add a way to display the pattern index number as hex digits in the debug area. I'll modify the draw debug pattern function to show both pattern indexes in the pattern visualization. Now let's verify. I don't like that you're making all these changes. Yeah, hey. Welcome back to the stream. Yeah, I hear you. The inputting, I know there's no way to get around it, but I do have some ideas while this thing is trying to like think about what it's doing. Right now, I've compressed this down to 20 characters. And what I was going to do was, let me see here. We come in here. When we draw them out, it's going to be 40 characters, but I was going to do them in blocks of 4 or 5 maybe. And this way, there's some repetition. We'll lose characters, but I only need a couple more characters, because after this, the only other things that I need to track really are going to be the player's start position, which all I need is the column, and then the enemies. And that's what I really need to figure out, because I don't know a good way of doing the enemies, and there's 6 of them, so that means it's going to be, so right now we're at 20 characters. It's easily going to be 27 characters with that plus things, or with the player, so that's not ideal. Fix. I've changed the function increment first, then draw. This is not, there's something corrupted here. There's no reason why 47 and 48 should always return 47. So one of the things, one of the other reasons why I'm trying to come up with this system, as much as I do want people to share codes, I really don't think that's going to happen a lot. Once I have this system in place, I can actually build a much better random level generator. And all the level generator needs to worry about is generating out these codes versus randomizing the map. And then I can create pairs so that if you have one letter, the next letter has to be within a certain range, and then you can go so on and so forth. Let's draw out all these patterns and see what happens when we get to 42, 44, 45, 46, 47. Nope. What is going on? I don't... All right, let's do it this way. I'm going to create a new chat. Let's talk to a different agent and see what it has to say. I need help tracking down a difficult bug to fix. I have an array of patterns, and for some reason, when I go from pattern 47 to 48, both patterns register as 47, then all the patterns after are corrupt and are off by 1. Can you go through the code and figure out what is causing this issue? I want to give it context to, first off, this the fact that it has a code, the fact that it has the header is like ridiculous. Also, it needs the paint C. All right, let's see what Gemini has to say. But I'm so close. Like today is the day that I get the level editor working. I'm gonna stop my stream in a little bit though, because I have some things to do today, and I'm just gonna keep hacking away at it. So I will do, for tomorrow's stream, I'm hoping I will have a fully working level editor. Enable, sure, whatever, I don't care. Learn more about how get Copilot servers. Interesting. It hasn't asked me to pay for anything yet, so I don't. I hope I'm not paying for this. There was nothing in here that told me it's charging me for these. I don't see any sort of counter, so. And yeah, and then after this, I have a bunch of other lovable projects I need to get back to. I was working on a little project for a website for I was building a website for my YouTube stuff, and basically it's going to turn my entire YouTube channel into a blog. I don't know, for some reason I haven't, maybe it's just me. I'm trying not to take it personal, but I haven't been able to get like a good amount of momentum for people watching the stream, even though I'm trying to do it more consistently. And I can't tell if this is just boring or I'm boring or I need to do something else. But what I do know is that if I can convert some of these streams into blog posts and then help with SEO and turn this into something a little bit bigger, it would help pick up. I mean, the irony is that I grew Akamai's YouTube channel when I worked at Akamai from 60,000 to 1 million subscribers in a year, but that was a lot of effort and a good chunk of money and production and a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't have any of those resources at my disposal, so I'm just going to continue limping along one subscriber at a time. It sounds like you're dealing with a tricky off by 1 error based on your description. It's likely that the duplicate pattern. I'll examine the platform patterns array to find the duplicate entry. It's not a duplicate entry. That's the weird thing. Because if I look at this, there's only one of those. There's only one of those, and that's it. There are no other duplicate entries. All right, while it does this, I'm going to open up some more tasks that I need to do. Let me delete this. We don't need this. We need a switch. Mode button. Oh my God, I cannot. For code/painting. Need to come up with a new way to switch modes so you can enter a code or go back to painting. This is an enhancement. I'm going to create more. Need a way to place enemies via code. Need to find the most optimized way to handle handle enemy position data in the level code. Need to save player start column. Need to find the best way to handle setting up the player start column. All right, let's see if this has come up with anything. I'd be happy to help you track down this bug. Dealing with one-off errors in an array can be tricky. The problem lies with the platform patterns array. There's a duplicate value that's causing the platform match to fail. Is a duplicate of 23. This causes my pattern to return 23 for pattern 47, which is incorrect. To fix this, you'll need to correct the value at index 47 to be unique. That's 110% not true. I'm looking at 47. There's no other pattern that is the same. 27 doesn't even look like this. I'm going to do this for a second. I'm going to create a pattern I know does not exist naturally, which is just a tile with one platform. And I want to see if I can get this to work. All right, let's go into edit mode real quick. And let's jump to... Come on, we can get there. Okay, 47. Yeah, look at this. There's something about the number 47 that doesn't... I've never seen anything like this. That's 47 and that's 47. How is that even possible? I've never seen anything like this. I don't know what could be causing that problem. Having an issue with iterating through my patterns in C. For some reason, when I go from 47 to 48, it still registers as 47, and all the patterns after are off by 1. I have tested this multiple ways, including forcing 48 to be uniquely different than any other platform, but it appears to be an issue with what? I can't track down. Have you ever heard of a scenario like this in C where my pattern matcher doesn't know the difference between 47 and 48 and returns 47 for both? And then I just need to go find the where is 47? All right, let's see what it has to say. Let's come back over here. Let's see what this has. This is just crapped out now at this point. I don't even know what's going on with this. Could be reading from the wrong memory bank. That might actually... Let's first rule out a bug in the match platform itself. Add this test that walks. You know what? That's actually not a bad... I think that might be part of the problem. Wait. I wonder if it's... No, it isn't a bank problem. 57 unload entries is only 104, so far below the 16 byte bank limit, so you don't need... It must be coming from how you're extracting or comparing those bits, not from... You know, if you want to dump the raw pattern for it. Turning the same bits or whether the lookup. Okay. I don't have access to print commands, so how can we test this? All right, that's crashed out. All right, I think this is probably where I call it a day. I need to take a break and refresh my brain or wake my brain up or something, because this is just a little annoying, and I just need to go through this piece by piece. But long story short is I think we've made some really good progress this morning. We at least now have the ability to change the tiles. We can enter in a code, even though I'm just sort of hacking it right now. And it's turning that code and rendering it back to the background. So all we got to do is fix this 4747 issue and go from there. So, all right. thanks for watching. I will be streaming tomorrow at 9 a.m. and that'll be a proper stream. I was just trying to throw a couple in this weekend just to keep this project moving. And other than that, I will see you then.